This episode is brought to you by the shows of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. Whether it's true crime or film reviews, even TV series deep dives, the You Run Podcast Network has you covered. So go and check out yourunpodcast.com. Mark, there's a new hotel that's opened up in my town, and it features glory holes in all the rooms. You'll never guess what they called it.
I'm trying to think of something quick-witted, but I just don't have the brain functioning to do so at the moment. So go on, hit me. What was it?
They called it the Walnut Inn.
I like that.
If anyone's listening who doesn't know what a glory hole is, my advice to you is simply don't look into it.
Watch your eye.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But the You Run Podcast. Hey, Dad!
I'm back, bitches.
Hello, welcome to the You Run Podcast. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And Mark has been busy. So in podcast world, we were here last week and we're back now. In reality, we've been off the air recording together for a month, over a month, in fact.
It's wild. I've missed you, man. I've missed you.
Yeah.
It feels strange being off for so long. I know we take breaks throughout the year, but it's only usually when one of us goes on holiday for like a week or two. But that's the biggest stint I think we've done in nearly 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a break, and a lot's happened. Like Mark's had a birthday. Mark's got another year older.
Goddamn 32.
I wish I was 32, man. Everything aches when I stand up now. I can feel my bones creaking inside my body.
And the worst bit about Mark's birthday is I completely forgot it was even a thing.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
You did. You're a bad man, you know, and everybody was messaging me throughout the day. So thank you to the incredible horror community. You're all fantastic. But my bestest friend in the whole wide world messaged me at about 5 to 12. You had about 5 minutes left of the day. I spent the whole day terribly upset that I hadn't heard anything from you. I was like, oh, should I message him and let him know it's my birthday, or is that too needy?
That was too new, but I realised, and I got in within the time frame of your birthday.
You did. You made it in time, so I'll let you off.
I did, but that's not all that's happened. Like the world has gone crazy in the last 4 weeks. So we've had Diddy running around saying things like this.
You ever thought about oiling yourself up for me?
That is wild, by the way. Let's get on with that shit.
Yeah, and like, have you seen some of the leaks? Like I found this one earlier.
Fuck off. Oh, brilliant.
Anyone just in podcast format, that is a picture of Mark at a Diddy party. You need to watch on YouTube or on Spotify. Not only that, like the weather in America.
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through.
Yeah, it's rough.
Bad.
It's rough.
I spoke to Lady Crisis, who's in that area. She's thankfully been untouched by it, but yeah.
So where is it hitting hard at the moment? Florida,
Tampa, like everywhere. And you've got that crazy bloke who's like staying in his boat, Lieutenant. Everyone's calling him Lieutenant Dan's. He refused to leave. He lives on a boat, and he stayed in a boat and rode out the storm, getting high.
It's wild. I was watching this interviewer the other day, like a news anchor, and he was obviously reporting on the situation, and like this big tree just went, smashed him in the side of the face. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's like wild winds.
Yeah, you've got that. And then you've got the American politics at the moment.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
I love him. I think he's great. I don't want him to go away. I hope he gets presidency again. He's not my leader, and I can watch it from afar and enjoy it. Sorry to all you Americans out there.
Yeah, honestly, it's been wild. Also, I've had full 5 weeks to prep this episode, so there may be a few more sound bites and other visual treats throughout this, because I've sat on this episode going, I'll just add a bit more to it. I'll just add a bit more to it for a long time now.
So note to self, don't give Scott free time.
But basically, you need to go and follow us on Instagram. We're at You Run Podcast. Also, drop us a follow on TikTok because we're back on there. If you're on Instagram, follow Mark. He's at Reviews from the Crypt or at VHS from the Crypt. You can get in touch with us by email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail. You do that by X or Instagram. Go to send a DM and record us a voicemail. We have a lot of voicemails that we're going to do in a minute. Reviews are super important, and that's why we're running a competition. So between now and the end of the year, if you leave us a 5-star review and screenshot it and send it to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you'll be entered. If you've already reviewed us, you can comment on Spotify on one of our episodes, and that will also count as an entry. And you can go and win 3 pieces of merchandise completely free. And we have some brand new merchandise. Like I say, I've had 5 weeks. I've been bored. So we now have this.
Cool.
Who's your daddy?
That's the front of the shirt, and this is the back of the shirt.
Oh, I was expecting you to turn that round and be a photo of my face, and for some reason or another.
I tried, and then it asked me lots of questions as whether I had permission to use that image, and I kind of it's a grey area. If you want, I'm more than happy to add your face to the bottom of that.
Yeah, man, I'm happy with that. Definitely.
Okay. So we currently have the Baby Maker T-shirt, and on the back it says "Oozing Daddy Vibes" in commemoration of Mark getting his leg over. We celebrate the weirdest things. Like I say, we have got a lot of calls. We're going to dive into them. The first call is actually from YouTube royalty.
Guys, I just listened to your Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 review, and great review as always. And I feel sorry for the guys who made the first one, because I feel like they were just doing it as friends for a laugh. And I think social media caught wind of it, and then it became popular, and they thought to themselves, oh shit, what are we going to do now? But Blood and Honey 2 was actually not too bad. Still a kind of bad film, but not too bad. Also, guys, Scott and Mark, remember to get yourselves to For the Love of Horror.
Well, I can't hear anything. I thought you'd had an audio issue. That's why I said 5 weeks in the making, and this is what you're coming up with.
No, it was playing. I'm not going to play it again because I could hear it, so I'm assuming all the listeners can as well. If it's not,
but what if they can't hear it and I have the same technical issues?
Well, I will sort that out in after editing. So that was a message from Barry. Wolfman's got nods. Royalty, YouTube royalty. He was saying that he felt bad for the people in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 1 because none of them got a part in 2, and he thinks it was like all friends, and then like the producer went, fuck you guys, I'm special now. And he also said that he wants to see us at For Love of Horror, and we're not going.
Well, we might. It'd be very last minute if we go.
Yeah, but
why is your audio not working? That's weird.
I don't know. Well, we've got quite a few, so let me play another one and see if you hear this one.
Okay, so yeah, it's late for you guys. I'm sure you are tending to babies and other things, but I had to interrupt the podcast because it's not Simply Seymour, it's Suddenly Seymour. I mean, come on, y'all. Scott, you even agreed with Mark. You're like, yeah. Damn it, y'all make me roast y'all. Like, if you don't want me to be a bully, come on, get your shit together. But the episode's fun so far. You know, I'm just jerking in chains. Anyways, bye.
in my defense, I did say I don't know if that's right or not. You was like, no, yeah, man, you got this. That's definitely right.
Yeah, and Heather, you've listened long enough now. If you want a well-informed and well-researched podcast, this is not the show for you. We rock up, drink beer, and just say things.
Yeah, pretty much.
That needs to be. We need that on a t-shirt. We rock up, drink beer, and say things. Right, let's keep these rolling.
Hi guys, listen to Beetlejuice, and I've just got to say that William Dafoe is the best thing in this movie, although I kind of agree with Scott that you don't need that entire story arc in it, and also agree with Mark putting somebody lesser in would have allowed other stories to develop better, but you can't take that away from him. He is by far the best thing in the entire movie. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was all right. I wouldn't go as far as to say he was the best thing in the movie. I enjoyed his presence, but I always enjoy Willem Dafoe's presence.
Yeah, someone needs to just bite the bullet and make him the Joker. Like, enough time has passed now. He's getting on. Just make him the Joker and have done with it so we can all have William Dafoe's Joker.
Given the reception to Joker 2, I can imagine there's going to be a casting call for a new movie shortly anyway.
I have seen Joker 2. I have views.
I have not. Is it as bad as the critics are saying it is, or?
No, I don't think it is. It's very much more about it's not the Joker is the bad guy. It's very much society has made Joker this guy. It is very much more a reflection, almost like Joker looking out going, you fucking done this. And I think that's why it's not been as well received. The songs are all good. They're all kind of well placed. Everything works. It's just, I don't think it's what people expected from it.
No, given the ending of Joker, the first movie, you're expecting him to be the clown Prince of Darkness and all the rest of it, hoo-ha. And
yeah,
if you watch the first film closely enough, surely you must have known it wasn't going to go in that direction. It wasn't going to follow the stereotypical comic book Joker arc going forward.
It's very much a courtroom drama starring the Joker. It's
basically interesting enough.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I'm not going to talk too much about that because people will just come and hate. Everyone loves to hate that movie. Like, just, I've never seen, apart from The Crow got it as well, but like pure just hatred spewed about it. And it's not that bad. You don't you don't make a movie for $100 million and it turn out to be a bad movie.
I don't know. I've seen some of them.
Yeah, true. There is that trilogy about hobbits that was like. Right. Who else we got?
Okay, so I don't feel like typing out my thoughts, and I'm tired because, well, my toddler decides that he does not want to sleep anymore. So anyway, I'm going to say, love the episode. There really wasn't anything in the description of the movie that makes me want to jump out and say, oh, I got to go see this, or I'm going to watch it. There's a high chance I won't even watch it. I don't understand why they made a sequel to such a classic other than monetary. Let's make some money. Let's pull out, some of the original cast and okay, whatever. That's fine. Nostalgia, whatever. Not so much for me. But anyway, I find Jenna Ortega insufferable. I do not like her. I don't know why. Hold on for part 2. You know how Instagram don't be letting you record more than 1 minute because they're fucking assholes. But anyways, overall thoughts, love the episode, and I just don't find anything appealing about the movie thus far. But I do want to correct Mark, because why would I send a voicemail if I'm not going to come at you too? I guess mainly Mark this time. It's Moira. And Scott, I think you said it wrong too. It's not Myra. Moira. That's her name from Schitt's Creek. Let's get our shit together, okay? Okay? Because y'all be butchering American accents. And it's like if I'm going around going, whatever, bruv. Like, whatever, bruv. Like, come on. Let's get it together. But anyways, As always, I always listen. Love the episodes. Mark, thank goodness you kept your fucking thoughts down to 14 seconds. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. Bye.
I mean, in fairness, it's the English language. I mean, we say aluminium. We say things correctly here. So I don't know if I can take on board Heather's criticisms here, especially when she says things like oregano. It's come on. I mean, take out the trash in the elevator. Come on. We know what we're saying, and what we're saying is usually right, unless we get fully incorrect names and calling people wrong names. But I think Myra and Moira
is about the same.
They're close enough to warrant. I think you're nitpicking at this point, Heather, and I'm not going to stand for it.
And I'm going to sit on the fence. You are fully on your own with whatever response comes back. Right, we've got two more. So we got this one.
Hi guys, loving the show at the moment. I would like to put in a request for Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, please. Whenever you could possibly fit you in, would be wonderful. Cheers.
Of course you would. Of course you would. I've seen that movie.
Great request.
And I know.
Great.
I know why you like it. Dave B movies. I'm not watching that. It's weird.
It's a request. You know how this show works. It will be probably. I've already spoke to Dave. It will probably be early next year because we've got like 5 episodes already in, and then we're like almost at the end of November, and then it's Christmas time, and we're going to do a whole Christmas thing this year. So it'll be early next year.
And the thing is, we're like the back end of this year now as well. We've got so many new releases that we're going to have to try and squeeze in. We've got Nosferatu to do. We've got Terrifier 3 to try and fit in somewhere. I think there's a few other more like solid new releases coming out. There's that new one as well from A24 that kind of reminds me a little bit of Fresh, and it's got the guy from The Boys in it.
Yes, I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you mean.
That looks fucking brilliant. I would like to try and catch that at some point. I think that's going to be a big movie. And I know that's coming out later on in the year. So there is a lot of stuff coming that we're going to have to try and fit in along with our already cram-packed schedule for 2024. So
yeah.
Have we got any more requests lined up? Is there anybody else waiting? Because I know what you did last summer. I think that was the last one, was it not?
That was the last one. We've got some episodes that have already been polled. So we've got Battle Royale, we've got Sharknado 5, there's another movie as well. I can't remember. I haven't got the schedule in front of me, but yeah, we've got like 3 more that are already decided, which takes us through Halloween into November. We'll work it out. We always do.
Yeah.
Last one. I saved this one to last because it is arguably one of the funniest messages we've ever received, which is a bold statement given some of the messages we've received.
We've had some ludicrous stuff in the past.
We have.
I would take offense to Mark always giving Scott shit about how old he is, since I believe Scott and I were born in the same year, but I just can't take any more digs at Mark. It's just really nice and heartwarming that Scott has taken it upon himself to take part in the Make-A-Wish program and take this young Gen Z who is clearly out of his mind and dying under his wing and let him fulfill his lifelong dream of being on a podcast.
Of all the lifelong dreams I have, I don't know if this is one of them. I'll be honest with you.
It definitely is. You've always dreamed about being on a show like this every week with such a wonderful co-host like me.
Where did you two meet? The care home? Fucking hell, talk about ganging together.
Yeah, us boomers stick together. Don't be picking on the old folks. Anyway, shall we actually do what we're here to do, which is review a movie?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Not a great episode back for me, I'll be honest with you with this film.
Yeah. Oh, Well, if you're new to the show, the way we do this, we give you a brief synopsis of the movie. We tell you what we like, what we didn't like. It's very spoiler heavy. We have an interactive feature. This week it's Caption This. We do some facts and then we round up and we let you get on with your day. An aging actress, an aspiring writer, friends on the surface, but bitter rivals deep at heart, fighting over the same man. Magic, death, zombies, boobs, sex, violence, all wrapped up in a movie starring Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, and Isabella Rossellini, directed by Robert Zemeckis, who brought us Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Frighteners, House of Wax, Real Steel, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill, Gothica, and a laundry list of other fantastic movies. So when I sat down to watch this, I had very high expectations. I'm not going to say much, but it wasn't the triumphant episode return I wanted to give you when you come back.
No. And the thing is as well about this movie, it is so glorified. This was a first watch for me. I haven't seen this movie. I mean, I've seen clips and stuff. You've seen certain scenes. It's hard to avoid. But I'd never actually sat down from beginning to end and watched this film. So like you, I was going in thinking, this movie is loved and adored by so many people. This is going to be one of those moments. Like the first time I ever watched Monster Squad, and I was like, how have I not watched this movie before? This is fucking incredible. And I don't know whether that was half the problem, is the expectations I had going in with it. But yeah, it did not deliver for me in the slightest, I'll be honest.
No, I would say probably the opening. It's not even the opening, but that first hour of this movie, I'm sort of clapping my hands to try and make it move faster. So you've got Meryl Streep, who's the actress, and she does the stage show at the beginning, and Bruce Willis is there with his girlfriend Goldie Hawn, and like he falls for her instantly. And which out of the two, put in Bruce Willis's position, which one of the two would you have married?
Goldie Hawn.
See, I'd have married Meryl Streep.
I'm not a Meryl Streep fan, I'll be honest with you. I don't get it. I don't get the look. She's an incredible actress. I've seen her do some remarkable things in her career, but yeah, for me, she's looked 40 since she was 19, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, and she still looks 40 now, and she's about 70.
No, yeah, she does. To her credit, she definitely drank the potion.
Yeah. To be fair to Goldie Hawn, she did as well. She still looks great.
She does. I saw an interview with her the other day. Her daughter's just started a singing career or something, and there was like some gig, and she was being interviewed, talking about how proud they were of her and stuff like that. Her and Kurt Russell, and yeah, she looks fantastic. She really does. But yeah, for me, if it comes down to it, I'm picking Goldie Hawn all day long.
Yeah, I think given a three-way choice, I'm taking Isabella Rossellini without even a hesitation.
Oh, mate, this movie isn't great, but it is worth the price of admission just to see Isabella Rossellini in this film. What a goddess of a woman she is.
Yeah, and like her outfits, like there's nothing. She's literally wearing nothing. She's wearing some jewelry,
all the way through.
And yeah, the plot of this, I don't know what it is. I think it might be the plot. Like the plot of this movie, I'm just not invested in, and I don't know if that's because I'm a guy, but I'm not invested in this. Like trying to stay forever youthful. Like I'm going grey, and I'm quite happy with that. I've got no desire to look 20 anymore.
No, and I didn't find any sort of relatable content in this movie. Even like some of the humor, there was a few moments where I got a little bit of a chuckle, but in all honesty, most of those came from Bruce Willis's character. I didn't ever find the dynamic as great as they were as a pairing, Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep. I just didn't buy into the character dynamics of the two. I didn't get the quarrels and the qualms. I didn't kind of relate in any way to the ongoing progress of the story. It just didn't appeal to me, and I just found myself constantly being like, I know what this movie has in store with some of the effects work and some of the scenes that I've seen from it. Let's just get to that, because this 45, 50
Yeah.
minute bloat at the beginning. It is really, really starting to drag. One thing that I had a mass appreciation for within this movie, and much to Rob Zemeckis' credit, is visually, this is a fantastic looking movie. Everything is
Yeah.
beautiful. Everything is that Art Deco sort of golden era of Marilyn Monroe style movie shot. Everything looks
Yeah.
beautiful. Everything's really high gloss colored and really popping. And it's directed incredibly well. Like some of the shots and stuff that he does throughout this are really, really beautiful. And it's a glorious looking movie. It's just I found myself more invested in the set design and the shots that he was creating throughout and the use of some of the cinematography than I did in any of the story going forward. It just felt really bland to me, and it was disappointing, man. I'll be honest with you. I really found myself disappointed by a good proportion of this film.
Yeah, I was as well. See, like the set design in this is fabulous. The cast is fabulous as well. The script is diabolical. Like the script just didn't hook me at all. But what I found so interesting was the mix of practical and digital effects. Like the practical, so when Goldie Hawn gets dumped and he goes and marries Meryl Streep, and they make her fat, and they put
Yeah.
that fat suit is one of the best fat suits I've seen in any movie. Like that's Nutty Professor level great.
I
Fat
thought it was
suit.
better.
It's so
I thought
good.
it was so convincing. It was better than the Professor, in my opinion. Yeah, the makeup effects are fantastic, but I don't know. It got a little chuckle out of me at the beginning, and then then I had to endure another 20 minutes of nothingness. So
Well, this is the thing. Like, it gave me moments like when Bruce Willis is stood there. He's like, "I would never choose her over you," and you see the door close, and then when the doors open again, it's opening to him marrying Meryl Streep. Like that made me laugh when
yeah,
they drag Goldie Hawn out of her apartment and she's watching Meryl Streep's character get killed again and again and again in a movie while eating ice cream surrounded by cats.
by cats. Yeah,
That made me laugh. But
yeah.
I would say in the first hour, they were probably the only two bits that did. And
Yeah, and but the thing is, like again, you mentioned how everything was so bland, but like all I kept focusing on was the visual effects work because from that scene on at the beginning, that's their actual ages at this point. So the first opening segment, that's their age, and then they're aged for
yeah,
at least an hour of the movie. They have makeup effects on to make them look older in order to later on, when they rejuvenate themselves, to go back to their original form. And the aging makeup is brilliant. Probably
yeah,
better than most of the stuff we get today. Like it looks so convincing, and it actually looks like what they look like today in most cases. And
yeah.
I was so
And
blown away by that.
like when they go the other way as well, they make them look younger again. The scene that just blew my mind was Meryl Streep's boobs pushing back up in her top, like one at a time. Like that, I was like, that's
How?
incredible. How on earth did they do that? And I found it and I've got it in facts because
Oh, brilliant.
I was like, that's so clever. Because like you could obviously make boobs look bigger with a Wonder Bra or whatever it is that will push them up. But to on screen, one to slowly lift and almost like spring back into place, and then the other one to go, I was like, yeah, okay. Like that's really cool and really clever.
Can I ask
But
now, before you reveal too much, was it done in reverse?
no.
Just to get my own head around it, like, was it a case of like pulling it with a string down and then just playing it backwards?
No, it wasn't. It was done moving forward and all done in one shot, which is yeah, we'll get to it when we
Yeah, okay.
do facts. There is a
While we're
lot of
talking about practical effects, then, should we talk about CGI? Because there is a heavy blend of the two in this, which I was surprised by.
yeah.
But to be honest with you, I was quite impressed by it, considering the age of the film.
CGI in this, I think, is dated very well. It was
Yeah,
used it was used a lot. Like they used a lot of CGI in this, like for the twisted head, and they used
yeah.
it for like the hole through the stomach, but
Which
it all
was fucking
worked.
amazing, by the way. That hole in the stomach thing, I was like, I know I've seen this shot play out on like Instagram reels and stuff, so I'm expecting this to be really poor by today's standards. I couldn't fault it. I couldn't find this. The scene where she sits back on the chair And the
And the
stick
pole.
that's already been speared through the chair comes through the hole as she casually sits down. I was like, that is seamless. Like, literally, I cannot find a single fault. And I watched that scene particularly a few times back to try and just to pick holes in it more than anything. I was like, I need to find, and I couldn't find a single flaw with any of it.
Yeah, like the visual effects I think are really good. Do you know the one visual effect that really annoyed me in this? So they've done such a good job with all these amazing CGI shots, and you've still got fucking Child's Play 1 lightning towards the end. I'm like, oh, come on. Like,
I don't know. I kind of like it, but I think that's more of a nostalgia thing for me than anything else. Granted, yeah, it looks bad, but that's how lightning looked in the 90s, so I'm okay with it.
yeah, and I like Bruce Willis's character. I like Bruce Willis. I'm a big Bruce Willis fan. And I think what's happened to him is tragic. The fact now
yeah.
he doesn't even know who he is, I think he's awful. But him in this, I would say this movie sits up there with Hudson Hawk for arguably his worst on-screen performance. This is the most
Oh, man,
phoned
really?
in. Yeah, I just feel like
Oh,
he's not
dude.
trying.
Oh, man,
Like,
I came fully geared up to be like, I love Bruce Willis. He's great. I love everything he does. He is John McClane. He is Christmas
yeah,
to me. But like,
it,
this is his best performance in his entire career, purely based on the fact that it is so out of the norm for him. He was outshining everybody. Meryl Streep, we know, Academy Award winning Meryl Streep. She's fantastic. She was cashing checks in this. Goldie Hawn, she's fantastic. She was cashing checks in this movie. Bruce Willis, he was bringing his game, man. In the closing act, some of the scenes he was doing and his mental breakdown as everything was falling down around him, I was like, dude, you are awesome. You should have done more movies like this in your career. I loved him.
really. See, I just found
Yeah.
him very much like everything he'd done was he seemed very overplayed. So like when he's like a manic depressive drunk at the beginning, he is the most manic depressive of drunks. And like I don't know, like everything he'd done, I was kind of like I just didn't believe it. Like the bit where Goldie Hawn comes back and she's like she tries to seduce him in the home, and then they come up with a plan to kill her. He's like, yes, we could do this. Like I just felt everything he'd done was so overblown. I wanted him to dial it back a little bit, and whoever put that mustache on him needs firing.
I think now you mention it like that, I think maybe because of how bland I found everything else around it, those
You
shining
latched
moments when
onto him.
Bruce Will. I think I maybe did latch onto him because he was the shining glory of Release of Boredom. You know, like every time he was on screen, I knew I was getting theatrics, and I think that's maybe why I warmed to him more than the rest of the cast. Maybe
Yeah, Isabella Rossellini's house is
beautiful.
it is beautiful. It's one step away from a Diddy party. Like, like I'd literally just finished watching TikToks about Diddy and like seeing photos of his parties and stuff like that, and I went straight into this movie. I was like, all right, so she's a sex freak. Like, there's loads of naked men around. Like, I've got to say, like, the person who cast all of the men in this is like just makes every man feel inferior. Like these just random extras just lurking around our house are like the peak male form, and I'm like,
I mean, I think it's really, really fitting how we're watching this movie while all this Diddy stuff's going on and this whole Hollywood occultist thing, because that is what this movie's making fun of. It is the Hollywood elite. The whole party thing where they have basically when they get their youthful potion, it's like, look, you could have your career in fame, but at a certain point you are going to live forever and you are going to have to retire and fade off into the darkness. And then they have this big Diddy party at the end, and there's all these celebrities there, and you've got like Andy Warhol, you've got Elvis Presley, there's loads, Marilyn Monroe, there was loads that I picked up on and stuff, like people who were already supposed to be dead, but it was more a case of they've drank the Hollywood potion, so they have to retire from the limelight. I was like, that's cool.
it was really cool, but I felt that was a missed opportunity because surely there must have been people clambering to have cameos in this, big stars that would have been like, oh, I'll be at your party. Like, how many people could have been in that scene and they didn't? They just got lookalikes, like they had a Marilyn Monroe lookalike. Like, give me an actual celebrity who hasn't aged.
But you do know, like Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley are dead. You know, they
Oh,
can't
yeah.
cameo in this movie.
Yeah, no, I'm aware, but they could have taken some other actors and cameoed them in there. People who we know are old but look really young, like for example, Tom Cruise.
Like
That
Paul
man's-
Rudd. Paul Rudd just casually walks past. And you're like, oh, that's why you don't age.
Yeah, like people from that time period who were like that would have made sense to me, and that probably would have got more of a chuckle out of me. The overall premise, like the fact that they're effectively undead, so they drink the potion. I'm assuming they kind of die, and then they just can't die after that. I wasn't sure how the potion
I
worked.
didn't get that. I didn't get it at first either, and I have watched this twice, and I picked up on it properly the second time. So they drink the potion and they live forever. Their body never dies, but Meryl Streep dies because Bruce Willis kills her. So she's technically dead.
She gets Mario'd down the stairs. Like all that went through my head when she went tumbling down the stairs was this.
So had she not fallen down the stairs, she would have been fine. Her body would have regenerated as normal. She would have basically been Wolverine. However, because she physically died, there is no coming back from that. Even though her body still lives on and she lives on forever, her physical form deteriorates. Same with Goldie Hawn's character. She's drank the potion many, many years before Meryl Streep's character did. Hence the whole fitness book and the coming back and all the rest of it. That took years of planning and progress. So she was sustaining her body because she was still alive. But then as soon as she got shot with the shotgun through the stomach, she died. So then when she died, although she's still alive, her body was starting to deteriorate, hence the need of Bruce Willis's character. That's why like everybody at the party was still okay. Isabella Rossellini, they're all okay because they haven't physically died yet. So their bodies are still living in that natural form when they drank the potion. So even though you die, you're still alive, but your body's not.
Yeah, so they're zombies, basically. Zombies
at that point,
think.
yeah, they're zombies.
Yeah.
So they're vampires at first, and then they die in their vampiric state and then turn into zombies. Is how
right, okay, now that works for me. Would you have taken the deal offered to Bruce Willis? Like he's a mortician and a very, very good one. He makes people look like they're still alive. So he's used to patch everyone up. And Isabella Rossellini comes to him and goes, look, you drink this potion, you live forever, and you patch up my people, and you'll have a wonderful life forever. Would you have taken that deal?
Yeah, definitely. Because once I drank that potion, I'm getting the hell out of there. Fuck that bitch. Give me that live forever potion. I'll see you later. I'm not a slave to you, but I'm definitely taking this get out of jail free card that you're offering me.
Exactly that. Like, me and Lisa have had this conversation before. Like, if you had the opportunity for eternal life, would you take it? And Lisa's like, no, I want to grow old gracefully. I want to see my kids grow up, and then I would take it in a heartbeat. I would quite happily live forever.
I would take it, and I would be the richest man on the planet. I would learn every language. I would learn every instrument. There is so much to do. People say, oh, yeah, but wouldn't you get bored? I'm like, no, how could you possibly get bored? There isn't enough things to learn in this life with one lifetime. And not only that, but with the advancements of technology and everything else, there's always going to be something new to do, always going to be something new to entertain you. And if not, and if you get really bored, you just become a serial killer. Like, that's entertaining enough to keep you busy for, I don't know, 100 years, and then you could maybe reform and not be a serial killer anymore, and then pick up a new hobby.
Okay.
I don't know why I went there so darkly with that. Like, I have those harboring thoughts. I don't have those harboring thoughts, but I mean, if I was like to live forever, maybe I'd give it a try.
Yeah, see, I think you went there because of your dark past.
Fuck off.
I'm going to send you that because that is one of the best Photoshop photos I've ever done. You like leaning on Diddy's shoulder.
But in all honesty, though, man, if you live forever, do you think you would get bored?
No, there's so much I would want to do. Like I would master, and like you say, everything. I'd be able to play every instrument. I'd be able to speak every language, read every language. I would travel every inch of the globe. Like, if I could live forever, I'd go and do like really extreme stuff. Like, oh, this place, this cave, and these like jungle people can't survive in. Yeah, I can. Yeah, if I can't die, I'm
Yeah.
going there. If I can't die, I'm going to go to the island where all the people cannibalize you. I'm going to go and have a look because they can't do that to me. I'll be fine. Like
Yeah.
all those things. Yeah, I wouldn't get bored. There's so much I could
No.
do, and this show would be ginormous in 150 years. Could you
It's just
imagine
my
the list?
brain in a jar and a microphone.
Yeah, could you imagine the listener base and the following on social media you could amass in 150 years?
This is what I mean. I don't understand the concept when people say, no, I feel like once you've had your innings, that's it. That's you done. It's time to pass on to the other side. No, man. Fuck that shit. I
Yeah, and
enjoy life.
especially
I enjoy things about my life that I don't ever want to end. And there's
yeah,
things, do you know what always worries me when we talk about death and stuff like that? It's not the fear of dying. I had it a lot when I was watching The Walking Dead, and I was like midway through like season 5. I was like, oh fucking hell! If I die tomorrow, I'm never gonna know what happens for the rest of The Walking Dead. They're the kind of trivial things that I think about when it comes to death. If I'm really invested in a TV series. It's like I'm into Rings of Power now. They've just finished season 2, and like it's probably not going to be like another 2 years before the next season comes out. So I'm living my life carefully so I can watch season 3 of the Rings of Power. That's the kind of shit I'm doing.
And honestly, like these two characters, they're given this wonderful gift, and they are so not careful with it. Like Helen Mirren's character doesn't want to be with not Helen Mirren,
Helen
Meryl
Mirren.
Streep.
Where
Yeah, she's
was
not in this
she?
movie. She's not in this movie. But Meryl Streep doesn't want to be with her husband. Like she just doesn't. So
No.
you've now got eternal life. Just leave him, divorce him. Don't have a big argument on the stairs with him. Just let him be with Goldie Hawn because you don't care. Like Goldie Hawn doesn't want him. She just wants to get back at Meryl Streep. So if Meryl Streep's gone, like that whole scenario ends and everyone stays alive. Like it really annoyed me that they've got these wonderful gifts and they absolutely squandered them over the most pathetic quarrel. And let's be honest, Bruce Willis in this is not the hottest guy there. Go to Isabella Rossellini's house and pick one of the many statuesque men. Exactly. I
Or
did
just
like
go for Isabella Rossellini. That is always the finest choice, regardless of gender.
I did like it when Meryl Streep went to go and see her young man on the side, and he had another woman there. And he's like, "Yeah, well, like you're old, like you were fun and all that, but like she's perky." Like I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, that's so heartless, so cruel."
Yeah, and there's stuff like that that like I kind of got and I did understand in the terms of the plot. Like, and he's mimicking her and be like, "Oh, you're old, and how do you think it makes me feel when people see us walking down the street together?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's harsh." And she cries, and I felt bad for her. I don't know what it is with this movie, man. There's just so much there that I really want from it, and that is working on a certain level, but it just doesn't quite execute it well. I heard recently that there were talks of a remake of this with Anne Hathaway. I can't remember who else they said was going to play it, but Anne Hathaway is great. She's fantastic, and I would love to see her in this type of movie.
Yeah.
I think that would work really, really well. So yeah, I don't know. I would definitely give it a shot in terms of when people like kick off about remakes and stuff. I think this is the type of movie that would warrant it. And I think, like we mentioned earlier about the whole party at the end, I think Hollywood's a lot more susceptible to mocking itself these days. That you would probably get the cameos that you wanted from it in that scene.
Yeah.
I think it would.
Yeah.
The same way, like with the Seth Rogen "This Is the End" movie or "The End," I can't remember what it is, and they're all just taking the piss out of each other in an apocalypse, playing hyper realistic versions of themselves. Like I feel like you would get that in a remake of this movie.
Yeah, I think you would as well. And I'll be honest, I don't really have a lot else to say about this movie. It's meh.
No. I think. I like the end. I like Bruce Willis's sacrifice. I thought that was cool. I like the whole set design of that scene in particular. it was very Tim Burton-esque, and I
Yeah.
appreciated that. That looked really cool.
I wanted him to sail off into the sunset, though. I like the bit where he gets like he lives his whole life, and like they're saying, oh no, he's lived this whole life, and that's how he got eternity. But he didn't. I'd have liked so if I had done the movie, the twist I would have done is that he would have taken the potion. Unbeknownst to us, the viewers, he would have taken the potion. You'll see them doing this big eulogy for him, and he would be stood at the back by the door, and he would be the one who pushed him down the stairs.
Yeah,
that's how I'd have ended it.
I would have liked him just to die at the end instead of falling through the glass into the swimming pool. Like, it would have been much more fitting to me for him to just die in that moment and just leave everybody behind. But I mean, it was nice that he got away and got to fulfill his full potential as a human, if you will.
Yeah,
and it was a fitting sort of closing line about living on forever with the work he'd done, with the life he had, and stuff like that, in terms of the vanity that comes with living forever, if you will, that this whole movie's trying to get at. So that was nice. It was a nice fitting way. I don't know. I just think Bruce Willis's character was the shining glory of this movie. So I don't know. Everything that he did was great. I would have just preferred him to die there and then on that rooftop.
Yeah, or just rewrite the movie and write a better movie.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I am. Let's do caption this. So caption this is where we give you an image and you simply have to caption it. And I went with this image. People did not disappoint with that image. Like, as soon as I put it up, I was like, that's open to a lot of people saying a lot of things. We've got Death Becomes Her Official, which is a Death Becomes Her fan page. I'm really sorry if you're listening to this episode. We haven't been particularly gracious to a movie that you really
fan
love.
Account dedicated to this film.
They do. And they went, the plot has a major hole in it. It does. It's called the writing. We've got AHSFX Memes, which is American Horror Story meme account. Be gentle. It's my first time. We've got Dewey Podmonster, a member of the You Run Podcast Network, an excellent podcaster, went simply with Glory Hole.
Yeah, man, you and him are intertwined, honestly.
We've got Bloody Babble, who's a really cool horror account. They went with Better Than Bond. And it took me a while to realise it's the circle from the opening of Bond.
If you hadn't have explained that, I wouldn't have got it.
Honestly,
I've still been here next week being like, by the way, that whole Bond thing, what did he mean?
Yeah, see, I read it about 5 times ago, Bond. And then all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, okay, that's clever. We've got Zombie Simon, who's a horror account. When she explains what the fourth hole is. Yeah, they went places this week. Redhead Vegan Julie, they're a vegan and gym account, blew her back out.
That has to be a British account for them to use the phrase "they blew her back out." That has to be a British account.
It's quite possible. Lady Crisis, who's currently harboring herself away from a storm, when one hole isn't enough. Lumberjay Reviews continued this theme. This is one half of the Girl and the Gay podcast. Again, member of the You Run Podcast Network. Jay went with Any Hole's a Goal.
Yeah, another classic British line.
Yeah, not to be outdone. His co-host, This Girl Loves Horror, jumped straight on. This is Becky, and went with Gutted You Chose Her, which I thought was quite clever. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sorry, Becky, but I would have chosen Meryl Streep as well because she was the better of the two options.
Nah, dude. Nah, I'm not seeing it. I just see Cruella de Vil. No, I'm lying because that's Glenn Close. It's not Cruella de Vil at all.
No, you're thinking of The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Yes.
They're all the same. They're all the
same.
Meryl Streep, Glenn Close. They're all the same.
Helen Mirren.
They are all the same. Helen Mirren, yeah. You see, even you made the mistake earlier. They're all the same. They're just British old women
who don't age, who still look 40.
Dame Judi Dench, she's the same.
And finally, randomly Eric went with, it's called a glory hole. The whole point is that you can't see who is on the other side. And they're a brilliant book account on Instagram. Thank you to everyone who gave captioned this week. Into some facts. So do you want to start with the fact about the boobs, of how they done that?
Yes, I definitely do.
So they built a pneumatic bra to create the effect that pushes their boobs up. So it's basically a bra with pneumatic pistons in it that when they push a button, it pushes the boob up. It didn't go very well. So when they'd done that and they fired the first piston, it pushed Meryl Streep's boob completely out. So they resorted to doing it the old-fashioned way, and they had the person who dressed Meryl Streep each day stand behind her and manually lift one boob at a time, and then digitally remove their hands.
Okay. I was going to say, was it somebody in a morph suit earlier?
Yeah, it was just what a job. What did you do at work, honey? Fondled Meryl Streep for 10 minutes.
I got paid for it.
So, there's a bit where Isabella Rossellini's like, tell me how old you think I look, being very seductive on a sofa. And Meryl Streep's like, you're 38. And Isabella Rossellini like stares through her soul like, how dare you? Isabella Rossellini was 39 when she made this movie.
Oh,
which she does not look 39.
No, no.
This was the first movie ever to use photorealistic human skin CGI software.
All right, okay.
And they've done
like in the neck scene and stuff. I'm assuming
in the neck scene. So when her head is flipped completely back, that's not a prosthetic. That head is CGI.
All right, okay.
Which again, it looks great for the time.
Definitely,
it won Best Visual Effects Oscar. This is an Oscar-winning movie. It beat Batman Returns and Alien 3.
Alien 3, I understand. Batman Returns, I don't know. That's a cool-looking movie for visual effects with the penguin and things like that. Like, that's a really, really cool movie. But I like that movie a lot more. But still, Death Becomes Her, I think, in terms of visual effects, definitely. We're sat here now talking about how well this movie holds up. Almost, this 92 was this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot. 34, 32 years later. I'm not going to try and do the maths because I always get it wrong. And end up like 10, 20 years out and then realize I'm really old.
It looks amazing. It was never intended to be a movie on its own like this. It was originally going to be a sequel to Tales from the Crypt.
For my roundup, I was literally going to end it by saying, if this would have worked better as a segment in John Carpenter's Body Bags, a tightly condensed 30-minute scenario would have been perfect.
Now, what I'm going to tell you now is insane to me because I kind of want to see the cut because I'm curious. So when they put this at test screenings, it got really negative feedback for saying that it dragged and it took a long time to get going. So Robert Zemeckis took 25 minutes out of this movie to accelerate the pace so it didn't drag. I want to see the cut where it dragged. Like, if this didn't drag, I want to see the cut when it did drag.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What, so this was originally a 2-hour movie?
Just under. Originally, just under 2 hours, and he cut loads out because he wanted it to move quicker after test screenings.
Yeah. Wow. He didn't cut enough.
No. Meryl Streep said that she didn't like working on a movie that relied heavily on visual effects. She said it was like going to the dentist. It was a very clinical shoot. She said that she would never work on a VFX-driven movie again, and she hasn't. So this was her only movie that's heavily driven by visual effects because she said it killed the art form of acting because she's on a blue screen or she's got to have like a blue head on while she's filming stuff. She just didn't like it.
No, I can understand that, to be honest with you. I do get that. But still, it's your job, man. Suck it up.
Yeah. How much do you reckon it cost them to make in 1992?
I'm always terrible at this because I have no concept of money.
We've been doing this for years. You should at least have a rough idea now of where you need to pitch.
So I'm just guessing the budget for visual effects.
No, for the whole movie. How much did it cost them to make this movie?
13 million.
No. $55 million this cost to make.
How much did it gross at the box office?
149.
So it was very successful then.
It was very successful. $55 million on this movie. That has all got to be got together. They got that money all together just based off the cast list. There's no other way. A studio's not pumping 55 million to this if it's got 3 unknowns in it. Stick Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, and Goldie Hawn. They've gone, even if it's shit, it's going to make money.
Yeah, which obviously it did because it is shit.
Well, on that wonderful segue, I'm going to let you go first with your roundups.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've already expressed I didn't enjoy this movie. I found it to be a real drag up until the last act. Bruce Willis visual, a massive highlight for me. I thought it was fantastic. I know it was massively hamming it up in many instances, but it was so outside the norm from what I've seen from him as an actor, especially now seeing this movie in hindsight. This is the first time watch for me. My only real knowledge of Bruce Willis throughout his career is Die Hard and then a plethora of B-movie fucking action straight to Netflix kind of shit that he's doing before his ultimate retirement recently. I don't know. I didn't particularly find Meryl Streep or Goldie Hawn great in this film. Visually, it's amazing. That's what disappoints me. Is it is even just the basics such as the set design, practical effects. Everything looks fantastic. It's just not well paced or well written. Nothing related to me for me to be invested in these characters. I just didn't get it. I don't understand the mass cult following that this has, and I'd love to know from the listeners what it is, especially if you are such a big fan of this movie, what it is about it that appeals to you and resonates with you, and why it holds such a place in your heart. Because I just can't fathom it personally. Because I know how high regarded this film is amongst the community. People talk about it regularly, like it's such a cult thing. And cult movies to me have to mean something in a way that's personal. And I just can't quite see that personal angle on this.
No.
So I'd love to know. And that's not like a jab. I'm not telling you guys that you're wrong for liking this movie at all, because I myself can see the potential that is there with it. So I'd just love to know from you guys what it is that stands out so much that makes you be like, this is the best movie ever. I watch this movie every year. Because for me, I'll never watch this again. If I want to see those special moments that I liked so much about this film, I could probably condense that into a 5-minute YouTube video and be just as satisfied as I was with the 90-minute runtime that this film had. I'm not going to say that I don't recommend this film, because I certainly do. I think everybody should watch it and take away from it what they will, because I know how loved it is. I just keep going round and round in circles with myself about my opinions on this film, because I know it's appreciated so much, and I can understand why to a certain degree it is loved as much as it is. But I'm still so annoyed by it and so bored by it when I watched it, and I just don't get it. I'm so conflicted with where I am. I'm not going to completely bash it with my score, and I'm not going to bring it down to a really, really low level. I'm going to stick right in the fence with it, and I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Just because I just don't know. I really, really don't know. There's a lot to love, but there's also so much that just disappoints in the same aspects. Another thing as well is a comedy. I just want to briefly tap onto is I didn't quite understand the tone of this movie throughout.
No.
And nothing resonated with me more than the final scene when they fall down the stairs and like crash into a billion pieces. It felt like the end of a sketch show sort of skit.
Yeah, like an SNL skit.
Yeah, and I was like, that's weird. Like, why do that? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Again, I just don't know. I just do not know with this movie. And I think it's the first time in my entire life where I have been so conflicted about how I feel. I'm a very outspoken person, and if I don't like something, I'll say I don't like it, and I'll say why I don't like it. If I love something, I will scream it from the rooftops about how amazing that thing is. This movie, I just don't understand it, and I can't pick a side on where I am with it.
I can,
but it doesn't warrant a rewatch. It doesn't warrant a rewatch from me to justify it either.
We watch. I know exactly where I am with this, but I don't know exactly where I am with the episode because we normally have an ad in our episode, and I completely forgot to put it in. So I'm going to put it in now. Apologies that it's not earlier in the episode, but I'm going to take a quick break.
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Fleshlight. Fleshlight, go fuck yourself.
When you finish this episode, head over to yourunpodcast.com and check out some of our other network members. There's Voices from the Mausoleum, your home for horror on YouTube. Everything from found footage to remakes to conspiracy theories. They even have a horror coffee morning. This is the place for you, so check out Voices from the Mausoleum. Also available on the You Run Podcast Network, the horror-friendly podcast hosted by Katie and Chantel. This hilarious horror movie review show covers horror movies from the past, the present, and even the future when they cover movies that are only at film festivals. This is a show you must check out. These and many other shows all available at yourunpodcast.com, so head to our website today. Apologies, everyone. I'm out of practice. Head over to the website, check out yourunpodcast.com, check out all of the fabulous network members there. There are so many. While you're there, why not buy a t-shirt that says Oozing Daddy Vibes? That's a t-shirt you need in your life. Also, the site we use to make this podcast is very expensive. So any money that you do give will help to go to pay for that. So I can afford to have other things in my life apart from this show. Anyway, much later than scheduled, that was our advert, and I'm going to do my roundup now. I'm not conflicted about this movie. What I'm going to say probably won't sit well with fans of this movie, and I'm really sorry for that. Like, if this is your thing, that's cool. Like, if you really love this, I get it. I can see what it is in this movie that you do like. Be it the comedy resonates with you, be it the cast, be it the effects, whatever it is, I get it. But it all missed for me. Like, the performances, you've got Oscar-winning and Oscar-worthy stars in this, none of which delivered at the level they're capable of. The script is like it's been written by a disgruntled housewife. He stole my man. That's basically the script. Like, he stole my man and I'm going to get him back and I'm going to kill her and I'm going to make myself better. Like, it just didn't hit with me at all. Bruce Willis's character is an absolute waste of space. His character is a wet blanket. He is so downtrodden and so useless. And he does have that redemption arc at the end when he goes and lives this wonderful life. And all we get of that is a 5-minute monologue at the end from people saying how wonderful his life was. Visually, this is great. It looks beautiful. But as good as this looks, you cannot polish a turd. And this movie is a turd. It's awful. It is one of the dullest movies I've seen in as long as I can remember. It gets, I don't know, it gets a 1 out of 5. And that 1 is purely for how it looks and how the visual effects is presented. Everything around it is utter dog shit.
That was harsh, man. That was really, really, really mean.
Like, honestly, there's just nothing redeeming about it. That, like, all the performances are phoned in. Like beyond set design and the beautiful costumes they stuck Isabella Rossellini in, this movie has nothing for me. Like nothing. I can't identify with a single character in this. Not one of them. There's no character that I identify with. I don't identify with Bruce Willis because he's so downtrodden and quite honestly useless. I don't identify with either of the main female leads because quite honestly, I'm not that petty. Like I don't care enough to be how they are. Like I would say, if I identified with anyone, it's probably Isabella Rossellini because I want to live forever. But
yeah, and again, and I think that comes down to, like we mentioned, about how this would work so much better as an anthology segment, because all of that character development and bloat that you get at the beginning would have all been done away with. This was the idea of this whole movie could be done away in just a few moments. It's a very, very basic premise, and I think that's the fault in it. It's so basic in its overall story arc that when they try to flesh it out, it just drags and it's boring. Like, we get it from the off. We understand what is happening. So let's get to it. Let's get to where this movie needs to be. We don't need to spend an hour developing characters which we know their place from the moment they're introduced.
Honestly, the first hour of this movie, I could have explained it in one title card with, I don't know, 15 lines of text.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
and again,
have...
like you said, though, the last act is fucking brilliant. So, like, if you had that basic setup with a 30-minute anthology segment and then played out the rest of the movie and the closing act like we got, I would be saying this is one of the best segments in an anthology movie that I'd watched. I'd be like, that was fucking wildly entertaining. I really liked that segment. The practical effects in it were really cool. But it's just dragged down by so much bloat that you just lose interest in it by the time it reaches the important stuff.
Yeah, and I know so many people like this. So when I done caption this, there were so many comments that weren't captioning the photograph. They were just going, I love this movie. This is an annual watch for me. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. And like, if that's you, like, again, like Mark said, like, call us. Go to Instagram, go to X, go to send a DM and push and hold the microphone button, because I want to understand it, because I just don't get it. Like, everything that people hold in such high regard, it must be passing me by, because I don't see anything here that gives this a cult status.
No. Like I own this on VHS, and I've got to the point now with my collection where I'm like, right, things are getting out of hand. I've got more surplus than I need. At the time, it was like I need to just collect everything, but now I'm like, no, this is getting out of hand. I need so I'm going forward over the next 12 months, I'm going to have an all killer, no filler collection, which basically means I have to watch the entire collection that I currently own and decipher whether it is worthy of its place on the shelf or whether it is filler. And I own this movie, and already this is a first time watch for me. I know that that is a filler movie, so that will be going straight on eBay within the next couple of weeks, and this will be getting shipped off to create space for something that is a much better suited addition to the collection.
Yeah, which is a shame, because it is held in such high regard. And yeah, I just don't get it. On a completely separate topic, calling back to an old episode, we covered Dogma.
Yes.
And we talked a lot about the Weinsteins owning the rights to Dogma.
I know where you're going. I read this article earlier today.
Yeah, the Weinsteins no longer own Dogma. It is in the hands of a much less criminal... rapey, a much less rapey organization who've already reached out to Kevin Smith. He's going to be doing a tour next year. They're going to put the movie back into theaters, and they're going to do a DVD and Blu-ray release, and it's going to go to streaming. And he's already spoken about the potential of a series to continue the arc for certain characters.
Yes, and as much as I want this with all of my heart, I just don't think it can be done without
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. I was going to say Professor Snape because I couldn't think of his name, and I can't see this possibly being the same without him. Like, no. He is the grounding glory of that movie, and I can't imagine they would be able to get Ben Affleck and his sidekick Robin
Yeah,
back to do it.
they can get Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in a heartbeat because they're best friends with Kevin Smith. He just rings them up, goes, "Mate, do us a favor." Like they're in so many Smith movies because he's like, "Can you pop into my movie for half an hour?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, no worries."
Yeah, to be fair, they are in every Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Yeah, and I think it's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Their cameos in that they didn't even get paid for. They're like, "Yeah, we'll do it. We're knocking around on set. How long do you need? A couple of hours? Yeah, fine."
Yeah, but if you need him to do like a full season of a TV series, I think that could be a bit spenny.
Yeah, they might want some financial compensation for that. So that's it. That was Death Becomes Her. This was our return episode, even though we were here last week. We're going to be back next week with a new movie. Don't know what we're covering yet. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 in the bag, and we've got Terrifier is out today. We're recording this on the 11th. So yeah, we'll be back with something next week. But until then, yeah, have a wonderful week.
Hey, Daddy!
Feel it still works.
Yeah, feel free to call in and congratulate Mark on his perfectly functioning sperm. And we will catch you all next week. See you later.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
Jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
Who's your daddy?